Yo, what up, everybody, man? Thanks for tapping in. I know it's Saturday. Everybody's probably getting all G'd up and dolled up and shit, man. You know,
Hell
hit that
yeah.
little party. Rodo, he hit the party last night and shit, so he over here
Yeah,
recuperating a little bit, you know?
yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah.
We made it though. We're here.
Yeah, but you know, we got Oxnard Original right here, man. I use the Oxnard Original because you're one of the first cats I met that was doing music out there and shit
Okay.
from who I met, right? You know,
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
know
yeah.
there's a couple people, and but this Rodo G, man, you know,
Yeah, what's up, man? Much love, man. I'm blessed to be here.
that's what's up, man. We've been trying to get this in the books for a minute, no, but you do your soccer thing with your fams. I be seeing and shit. Your son's Savage 21 and shit, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. 21 Savage on the
21
field.
Savage,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
We've been traveling a lot. Vegas, San Diego, Norco, all over the place, man.
Yeah,
So we've
yeah,
been
yeah.
kind of been doing that since like the beginning of the year.
Every weekend and stuff.
Yeah, every weekend. So, right now it's already done. So I got a little bit more free time now.
Oh, that's what's up, dude. Yeah, yeah. They win any tournaments or not?
No, unfortunately, this year we didn't win them, but last year we took two of the big ones, which
Oh,
was
all right.
the Las Vegas Mayor's International Cup, and then the San Diego one is a State Cup. So we took both of them last year, which was that was pretty cool, man, for a first time experience,
Oh, that's what's up,
especially
man.
for my son.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's what's up. Yeah, my daughters play soccer too and shit, you know, and they're like, they go, they're like all into it, dude, you know, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's
And they've
dope.
been asking me to play club because they know it's more competitive and shit. You know, they still do AYSO and shit, you
It's
know?
more competitive for sure and
Hmm.
way more pricey.
Yeah, yeah. And then you got to travel, right? I mean, you got
Yeah,
to
hell
you
yeah.
got to pay for yourself to go over there, right?
Hotels,
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
If you got a big family, man, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, I had to. I'm at a like 5 and shit, so we still got to get like 2 rooms and shit. You know, anywhere we
Hell
move and shit, or like the Airbnbs. You know,
yeah.
nah,
Yeah.
nah. But Rodo's out here from Oxnard. Which is not too far from LA. If you're not familiar, it's LA County, and then going a little bit more northeast is Ventura County, basically, and stuff. So it's and then there's Oxnard City, which is also a city by the beach in a way, right? Like you guys
Oh
have
yeah,
beach
for
and
sure.
stuff, right, and all that.
Yeah.
So it's very similar to LA in a way, with a lot more up and coming talent, right? Like coming up in rap and podcasting and all that, right? You know the majority of
Yeah.
people too out there, right?
Oh no, yeah, man. 805, the county itself, has a lot of it's been having a lot of like music talent for man since I could remember.
Yeah, yeah. There's some cats that I hear and they're like, oh yeah, he's from Oxnard from back in the days, and I would be like, oh, I never even knew and shit. Like who's the most famous person you know that came out of Oxnard and shit, dude?
Damn, I would say, I mean, as far as music or
Yeah,
just in general,
music and shit. Yeah.
music. I mean, damn, like somebody that kind of did it big. That the first person I could think of is, the homie Down. The
Mhm.
one that did Lean Like a Cholo.
Oh, that's him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
All right.
he kind of blew up with
Yeah, he
that.
was on Part 106 and everything and shit,
Yeah,
no?
man.
On repeat, dude. You know?
He had a Snoop Dogg and a lot of West Coast legends like that he worked with.
Oh, that's
You
what's
know.
up, man. Yeah, yeah. And like, so you grew up in Oxnard all your life and shit, no?
Yeah,
Yeah, born and
Oxnard.
raised and
Yeah,
shit, you
born
know?
and raised
Yeah,
Oxnard.
yeah. And how is it for you growing up in Oxnard, dude? You know?
Man, it was I mean, it has its good and its bad, just like every other place.
Mm-hmm.
Just growing up for me, I mean, it was maybe now I think about it more. Now I think about it like, damn, it was a little bit tough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at the moments when I was barely growing up, I didn't really grasp to the reality that much, because, I grew up like on Hemlock Street and, we ended up getting evicted from our house. We lost the house. So we ended up moving um, to Lemonwood, that's a neighborhood over there.
All right, yeah, yeah.
And I
I
was,
feel your pain, dude. I've been evicted before, twice in my life growing up as a kid and shit, bro, you know?
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
at those times, man, I didn't really see it like it didn't really impact me as much as like it should have,
Yeah, yeah,
but that
yeah.
was because of, my parents were probably blocking that.
Oh, all
They were
right,
trying
yeah,
to make
yeah.
it seem like, nah, we're good. But I remember staying at one of my tia's house. We stayed there for a couple months, So now that I think about it, it was like, damn, all of us in that, it was like a mobile house,
Oh, all right,
in a
yeah, yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
So we were all rent packed in the house for like 2 months, you know. So then we finally got our own spot, and you know, so it was a little rough, man. But
Yeah,
honestly, at those times, I was still a kid, so it didn't really hit me like that,
yeah, yeah.
you know.
And you remember? Do you remember like sheriff showing up or like?
Nah, I just remember I used to go to Kamala Elementary, and I remember one day just one of my tias, because they used to share the house, you know, my uncles and my parents.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember just one day after school, they just came, and my tia was like, "Hey man, we gotta go, And I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
You know, we get there and everybody's outside. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah.
locked it out. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
put the
I
door
don't mean
lock.
to laugh, but
No, no,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean, you know, I
yeah.
was like, "Damn, what the hell's going on?" Everybody's outside, and
Mhm.
you know, man, you know, it was reality for us.
No, that's
You
what's
know,
up,
so.
dude. Yeah, I remember one of the times, dude. I was really young too, and my mom took us to the swap meet, bro. There's a swap meet right here called the Rodeon, which is really popular and shit, you know.
Yeah.
And this time I lived in the Inglewood area, like Inglewood Avenue and like 104th. Like this was growing up, maybe like second grade or something like that for a while, you know.
Okay.
And I'm laughing because to me, I had a funny experience, bro. So we were over there. Obviously, we didn't have no phone, but my mom was over there buying us video games and shit. So I don't know if she didn't pay the rent and was like, but I mean, to get evicted, you don't pay the rent for a couple months and shit, no?
Yeah.
But she was spending money on us over there, bro. Like, you know? So I remember, you guys remember the Game Genie?
Yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
she
Yeah.
bought me the Game Genie, and we were going home like, oh, like hell yeah, we're gonna go play. We got all the
Yeah.
cheat codes. We were like
Excited.
excited, bro. And then we get home. My sister, if I was in the second grade, my sister was in the fourth grade, bro. And when we got outside, she had stayed home by herself. And when we got home, she was outside by herself. So the
Oh,
sheriffs didn't
damn.
even give a fuck, bro. They showed up, they put the little
Damn.
tape in the lock, and they kicked her out, and they had her outside, like by herself and shit. They were all gone. And then when we got there, she was like, "Hey, mom, the police came." She had I think it was the Super Nintendo, all like in her hands with the remote controls. That's the only thing
Oh,
she grabbed, bro.
she's like, "We
Yeah,
taking
she
this."
was like, and she like, I grabbed the Nintendo for you guys, and I remember showing up, and that was like, that's a true story, bro. And she like,
Yeah.
out of everything, that's how innocent she was. She was like, I'm gonna grab the Super Nintendo and shit, you know.
And that's at it, and that's just because of you guys.
Because
Huh?
of
She's like,
us, yeah, she
thought
was
about her
thinking about
brothers.
us. Imagine she's in there with the
Yeah.
police telling her, what does she know, dude? You get me?
Yeah, that's all bad.
Yeah,
man.
yeah, that's all bad, you know. But that's why I was laughing when you were telling your story, because to me it was like, what the fuck, like you get me? And then in my head, I didn't think nothing of it until now. I think back and I'd be like, why was my mom spending all that money, but she didn't pay the rent and shit? You get me?
Like,
But, yeah,
going back to that, like,
yeah.
now that you're saying about the games and stuff,
Yeah,
I remember the only thing I was thinking of at that moment, I was like, man, I want to go inside the house and get my basketball cards, because I used to collect all kinds of basketball cards,
yeah.
and they didn't want to let us in to grab anything. So like for like a whole month, I was like, man, I want my basketball cards. Like,
Yeah.
I was so worried about that instead of worrying about, you know, like, damn, we just lost the house. You know?
Yeah.
So,
And I think at that time was when De La Hoya was coming out. I remember we used to watch the fights and shit when Chavez was on his way out and De La Hoya was on the way in. But nah, that's a fucked up thing for anybody that has to go through it, bro. Like we were the same thing at my grandma's house, all packed up, like 13 people up in that bitch and shit, you know?
yeah.
But fuck it, dude. You know, those are the struggles that make us grind a little bit more.
For sure.
Right?
Man.
With all those struggles, we wouldn't try and be like better ourselves as people and shit, I think, you know?
No, yeah, that's for sure, man.
Nah, but you moved to Lemonwood. Yeah, we know. Oh, yeah, I've been to Lemonwood. That's where the Gordo's chicken little truck is at, no?
Oh yeah, man, fire. If you guys haven't been to Oxnard, if you have, you guys gotta go to Gordo's Hot Chicken, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
fire.
I've been to that one, and then the one that they got at, is it called the Annex?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
yeah.
mall, right? It's like a mall.
It's like an outside. What do you call those? It's like kind of like outlets. You know.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
okay.
yeah, like outlets. But yeah, I heard, man, that they just opened up one inside the annex. You know, so that's dope, man.
Yeah, that's the one we went to and shit.
They're expanding. You know.
Yeah, when Wish was still over there, we went there and shit, you know? Not and then so like so now you're in Lemonwood, you're still young in this thing, right? You know?
Yeah, I'm like in 4th grade at the time.
All right, yeah.
So.
And then how was that, bro?
I mean, it was different, you know. I feel like I was in a whole different world, you know, like, cause you know we're not used to moving like that.
Yeah.
So when I was over there, I was like, man, what is there to do here? Like, I didn't have no friends anymore. So I'm like, man, what is there to do? Me and my older brother just like trying to find something to do, you know.
Yeah.
And then Yeah, bro. I mean, little by little, I mean, you start meeting people. So, you know, that's kind of what happened. I started as in elementary, Lemonwood Elementary. I started as a new kid. So it was kind of like, I felt like everybody was looking at me like, damn,
Oh,
who's this kid,
yeah.
And
Because yeah, you didn't go to school the previous year, so now all of a sudden you're the new kid, no?
yeah, I didn't have no friends. So I had to like pretty much make friends all over again.
Mm.
So,
That's the struggle too, dude. That's one of the
mm,
things. I've been to different elementaries, but short periods
mm,
until I landed where I belong, basically at Worthington and shit. You know.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a trip, dude. And then so you have an older brother too, you said, or a younger brother?
Yeah, I
Or?
got an older brother.
Mm-hmm.
I got a younger brother, and then I got a younger sister.
All right,
So
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
four of us.
All right, that's what's up, dude. You know.
Yeah.
And then like so, getting into the music part of it, bro. Like, at what age are you starting to do music here and shit? You know.
Um, man, so I just remember when I started just like gravitating to music. Um, it started with some of my cousins. They would buy cassettes and stuff like that. So I got introduced to Snoop Dogg and Tupac. Like those were like the first artists that I ever knew about. Rapping.
Yeah.
And that's because of my older brother too. So, and then eventually, once I got to like fifth grade, I had older cousins, and I got introduced to like the Chicano rap. Like to Mr. Shadow, Mr. Little One, Little Rob,
And these are all in
Night
tape,
Owl.
like tapes and shit.
They were burnt CDs. Yeah,
Burnt CDs.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
when
yeah.
like Napster was around.
Oh, I remember Napster. And
Yeah,
shit.
so
Yeah,
they
yeah.
were all downloading music and just putting them on a burnt CD, and
Mm-hmm.
they would bring it over and we would hear it. So, I started right after that, man. I started going to like the swap meets, because that's the only place you could kind of find that.
Find that music
Yeah,
and shit. Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like now it's so easy to kind of go to an artist and kind of look for their unreleased stuff, like nowadays.
Mhm.
And back in the days, like that's kind of what I was trying to do. Like, man, I'm trying to find the stuff that's not out yet before anybody has it.
Oh,
So I'll go
okay.
to the swap meets and but
And
obviously,
ask the fool like, "Hey, is this brand new and shit?" Because I remember in the
Yeah.
swap meets, they had the tables with all the CDs laid out, no, and then they had the
Yeah.
DJ and he was bumping like the newer shit, or right? Yeah.
So I was over there trying to look for like, cause I gravitated a lot to I like I said the rappers that I just mentioned, like Little Rob, Mr. Shadow, and then Night Owl. Those were like the first artists that I started listening to, but I really gravitated to like Little Rob for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Like his music, his first album was I think My Crazy Life or
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, and I was like playing that CD nonstop.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's like
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I think to me, out of the Hispanic culture, apart from Young Dopey and shit, just
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's home team and shit,
Oh,
you
no,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and Knockout and all that.
Yeah, shout out to him, man. Much
Little
love.
Rob was my favorite of the Chicano rappers and shit, bro. I felt like, and I don't know, maybe because he was on Pro 106, and in my eyes, that he had made it and shit. You get me?
Yeah.
Or the songs like "Drinking in My Driveway,"
Oh, yeah,
right?
that's
Like
dope.
shit like that, where it was like you can relate to a lot of the shit he spoke about. You get me?
Yeah.
And this was when I was young, before I was a travieso and all that shit, right? It was kind of like, this was like, oh shit, like my uncles hang out and drink all day.
It's like relatable.
You give me, it's all relatable and shit, you know?
Yeah.
So I would feel like, he was our voice in a way. So he was one of my favorite. And then I remember the CD that came out, I was a little older, and he had his hands like this, and I think he had 12, 18 on it or something.
Oh yeah. I think that yeah.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what
and I
you're
think it
talking
was
about.
because the letters, no, 11 and R or something, no?
Yeah, it
I
stand for
think
his name.
For his name, right?
Yeah.
So I always thought that fool was dope, So for sure he was dope.
No, hell yeah.
Yeah. So you rock with Little Rob too and shit, and like,
Oh yeah, man.
who
like,
else and shit?
Even to this day,
Yeah.
I mean, as far as
He
like
still
now,
makes music and shit, yeah.
I think so, but I mean, like I still rock with all his old stuff.
The old stuff,
Like I'll still play, stuff like that when I'm driving.
Yeah.
But as far as like like you mean like back in the day, or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
just in general?
Uh-huh.
I mean, yeah, like back in the day, I mean, damn, like Daz and Corrupt. That was
Yeah.
that was like one of my favorites too. Daz and
Yeah.
Corrupt.
Daz is really underrated, huh?
Yeah,
As an artist and shit.
and it's
right?
crazy, man, because he made a lot of Tupac's like
The beats and
biggest
stuff?
hits,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So it's like once you start finding that out, I was like, damn, that's actually pretty dope.
Yeah.
But he is kind of like underrated, man.
For sure. Yeah. and it's probably his personality. Because I mean, I don't know him, but
Yeah.
he was never really like these other guys, right? Like acting all G'd up and shit like that. You get me? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know if you remember, but Snoop Dogg, when he would come out on interviews, it's not like
Mm.
how he is today.
Oh
Remember,
no,
he
yeah,
used to
yeah,
come
for
out all
sure.
G'd up, permed out and shit. You know?
Yeah, like really putting that image out there,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, really putting that gangster shit. Now he's like, to me, I mean, he sea walks and all that, but to me, he's
Mm.
like a pop star now and shit. You know?
Yeah,
Right? You get me?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, because he's international, so
Yeah, you gotta fit that a certain image, but still stay true to a major. I think maybe I don't know, you
yeah.
know. But hey, dude, power to him. He's getting them checks, bro. You know,
Oh
shit.
yeah,
You get
he's
me?
been
Can't be
getting them
hating on
checks,
that. You get
man.
me?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah,
You know. No,
sure.
I remember like hearing something that you know how he made his own grill like George Foreman, and one of his comments was, "Well, shit, if George Foreman made $1 million on some grills, you don't think I'm gonna try and make $1 million on some grills?" You get me? And then that was like fact, right? Because people always say, "Oh, he's just copying him," but it's like, hell no, it's an opportunity to make some cash and shit, bro. You get me?
Yeah, it's like Warren G. I don't know if you're like familiar with what he does now. He does a lot of like he's all into barbecuing, like
Oh, really?
smoking,
Oh, I
like
didn't know that and shit.
yeah, like
Yeah,
tri-tip
yeah.
and stuff like that. I think he came out with his own seasoning. It's called Sniffing Griffin Foe. Like that's what he says. You know, I like doing. I've been wanting to get some, try it out.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what's up. And it's trippy because I don't know back then, you would hear of these artists, no? They would come out, they would release a dope ass hit, and then you wouldn't hear about them at all, right? But
yeah,
it turned out maybe they took that money and invested it in something else, no? Or they have other businesses that they do apart from music, no?
yeah,
And then it's like you didn't see it back then because there wasn't social media, but now it's so easy to see like what they're into, what they do on free time, and,
yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
you
You're
can
like not.
connect more, I guess.
Yeah, now you can see what you're doing every day.
Right,
You're
basically,
posting it on social media.
'cause
Yeah,
everybody's
everybody
posting it,
could
no?
keep up with you now.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. If everybody sees the West Factory one, they'd be like, "Damn, that motherfucker likes to eat and shit all day."
Hey, but that's what it is when you living good, man. Hey,
What else you gonna do, right? I mean, you're
hell
gonna want to
yeah.
eat, you know. And I love to eat, dude. I'll get some dessert. I just have McDonald's because the producer right here, brought,
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
some McDonald's and shit. But that should be fire
No,
too.
you can't go wrong with that, man. I love McDonald's fries.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember I was with this chick in the past, and I used to tell her, I'm like, man, if we get married, shit, we having we having Wingstop, and we having a McDonald's fries for everybody.
Oh,
Like,
that's what's
we
up.
ain't doing
Yeah,
no
yeah.
fancy,
No fancy dinner
food.
plate and shit,
Nah,
man.
hell nah.
Nah, that's what's up, dude. Nah, and then so getting back to your music, so you're bumping these cats, you're going to swap me and finding new music from like Hispanic artists in general, right? So these are the people inspiring you, and are you starting to rap over their beats now and things like that?
No, so to get to that, it was I remember I just used to lock myself, or whenever I was in the room, I mean in my house, right? I used to just lock myself in the room, and we had a computer that one of my uncles hooked it up, and so that's how I was going on Napster and getting all this music. But once I got introduced to like the Chicano rap, I started, I don't know, something just came to me like, damn, like, because we were only used to seeing like Snoop, Tupac, like, them do it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I never thought that like all our culture could do it,
Yeah.
So seeing them, it was just kind of like, oh man, like, so I remember just, I don't think that in my head I was trying to rap or I was trying to do music, but I just remember grabbing like notepads and I was just like writing, like I was just trying to rhyme, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
like trying to put something together, but without a beat.
Oh, okay. Like
What-
poems instead or something.
I guess, but I wasn't trying to write poetry. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I write poetry," but I wasn't trying to write poetry at all. I was just trying to make something rhyme, I guess, just because I was getting, inspired.
Yeah, yeah.
And one thing, going to that, like to writing over beats, I know now is very popular to do it, and I know we've done it, in the past, like
Yeah, yeah.
with the song that we got with Dopey. But I was never a fan of doing rapping over somebody's beat
Oh, really?
because I could feel like, man, if they already did it at a high level, what am I gonna like? Why am
Yeah,
I gonna
yeah,
even
yeah.
get on there? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not even gonna make it better,
Yeah, yeah.
So I always had that mindset, and but when we started making music like
Some of the
together,
remakes and stuff.
yeah, like I was actually cool with it. I was like, okay, Like the one we got with Dopey. I
The
forgot the
West
name of it.
West.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
That one, man,
That
that
shit
was
came out
dope.
hard,
Hell
huh?
yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
That one. A lot of people do too.
Yeah, yeah.
They give me good feedback on that one.
Yeah.
So
And I think it's dope, like when you can remake the beat and it has the essence of the old beat, but it's still a new beat.
yeah,
Right? You get me? Like I like starting when I work on remaking beats. I like to start them like with the original sound, and then
mm,
when the bass hits, switch it up and shit.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
I
feel
think
you.
that's dope and shit. Now, so now you're like getting your notepad, you're writing down some rhymes and shit. And then what are you thinking? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what's inspiring you now to get into music and shit?
Um, I think once I got to like junior high, and this is actually I think you guys were talking about it the other day with I think when my boy Whisper was that out
Uh
here,
huh.
he brought up that
MTS.
no, he brought that guy Low Boy.
Okay.
This is how I bang bang. This
Yeah,
is how,
yeah.
that song became big, and I used to go to school with him, and I remember him in junior high. Um, he used to be passing out cassettes because he was rapping already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was like, damn, he's in junior high. I'm like, he raps. So we kind of looked at it like, oh, damn, that's pretty dope. And
Yeah,
he was just
yeah.
walking around passing cassettes and stuff. And next thing you know, he blew up with that song. I don't know what he did with it. I haven't seen him since. But I was like, damn, that was pretty cool, that he did that. So that kind of started inspiring me to like, oh, damn, like, you could actually do something, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I still wasn't thinking that ahead where I'm like, damn, I want to be a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was just kind of influencing me more to dig in more into the music, you know? And then I think from there, once I got to high school, I started seeing people like, in circles, freestyling and doing all that, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
battle
yeah.
rapping.
Battle
and,
rapping and shit. Yeah.
yeah, man. And so I think that is kind of what caught my eye. Like, I started looking into it, like, just gathering around too and seeing how they do it. And man, if my family, like my cousins, every time we're around each other, man, they're like roasting each other, So it kind of became like freestyling was almost like roasting. That you gotta think fast, and if you don't think fast, you don't got something to say. Just don't even say nothing.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what
yeah.
I
For
mean?
real, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
you gotta think on the fly and rhyme it, dude. That shit's hard as fuck. to me.
Yeah, no,
You-
yeah.
You can freestyle or no?
I mean, I like to do it. I'm not saying I'm the greatest to do it,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
I love to do it. I used to go to house parties and, I was already like I already had my fair share with females. So
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we go to parties, I just tell my homies like, hey, let's go and get some females, whatever. I'm gonna go over here. Like, I see a group freestyling, like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna go over here. And I remember one time I actually battle rapped some white kid, and we were just going back and forth, man. And he gave up, and his friend came up to me and was like, hey, man, like, that he actually he's from like he's I don't know if he said he's signed or he has a record label. And I'm guessing he was trying to establish himself as an artist
Oh,
already.
okay, yeah, yeah.
And he was like, man, that he's, already kind of doing things, and like you made him kind of quit.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
He's like, you should, think about, he just kind of gave me like that good feedback.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, cool. Like, so
And
I
this is
just,
junior high and stuff too, right?
not like high school already,
Mm-hmm.
like freshman, sophomore year. So like to me, that was like, all right, that's, I'm like, man, like it just kind of motivates you more, or, more of a curiosity to just dig more into the
Like
music.
try it out more and shit.
Yeah, just
yeah,
dig
yeah.
more
No,
into the music.
no, definitely. And then that's how kind of you got inspired a little bit then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when I actually got into recording and stuff, I never thought about going to record. I never thought about like being a rapper like that, So
Mm-hmm.
I remember my cousin Veneno, he was a Spanish rapper, and he was already doing like recording and stuff like that. And he heard, he would hear me sometimes, like he would have ditching parties, and I would be like in the couch with a few of the fellas, and I was just like freestyling just for fun,
Yeah, yeah.
and so he was like, hey man, like you should come with me to the studio. But his studio was like a home studio,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I'm like,
That's probably like the beginning steps of people doing that around that era time.
oh
no?
yeah,
Right?
for sure, man.
Yeah.
And he started bringing me around, and then I started recording with him, and man, I used to hate it. I used to hate recording, because first you got, like if you're starting with like home stuff, really basic stuff, the plugins are not there, the mixing is not there, so everything sounds kind of off. You know, I couldn't find my voice on the mic. I used to hate my voice on the mic. I couldn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I used to hate it, bro. I used to really.
And
hate
that's
it.
one of the unique things you have, I think, too, bro. You know?
You know, and that's something that, you know, like now, like certain people do tell me, like, hey, man, the voice and this and that. You know, I remember I had a female tell me, like, you should do an audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, an audiobook? I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You should tell me I shouldn't rap? You know? You know, so, but yeah, you know, she told me, and, you know, I get it every now and then, you know. I remember this one of my good friends, you know, she's a female too, and she was like, man, she was like, I wonder how you sound when you finish. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, like busting nuts?
Yeah, yeah. She's like, I would love to hear how you sound when you like bust. And I'm like, what the hell?
Rodo's like, I can show you and shit. Nah.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, man. Nah,
oh, that's trippy, dude. Yeah,
I was tripping on there. I was like, what the hell? Audiobook? That? I'm like,
this
is crazy, man.
You never did the audiobook, huh?
Nah, but now I'm thinking about it.
Homie got like a Morgan Freeman voice right here and shit, you know?
Yeah, nah, now I'm thinking about it, you know, like maybe, you know, I was thinking about that, you know, I was like, audiobook, you know, because sometimes I do that, you know, when I go on my runs and stuff like that, like I'll go jogging and I'll throw on my headphones, and sometimes maybe I don't want to hear music, so I'm listening to audiobooks.
Oh, all right,
you know,
yeah.
So I'm thinking like, man, you know,
what kind of books you listen to and shit?
There was one, I'm forgetting the name of the book. But I only searched it because I heard Nipsey Hussle talk about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think it was called the Way of the Powerful Man, or something like that, man. But that book is actually pretty good.
Oh, all right.
You know?
Yeah. I don't read much, dude, or things like that. But when I do read, I like to read like persuasion books and books like with like how to read people and shit.
Oh, okay.
Like that the FBI uses and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I like a lot of history because I've known how, like, to me, and it got all through business, right? Learning how to like do business and shit was like, these were advantages that you can have. Like when you say something, you know, like to try and get the deal that you want, you speak to people a certain way, right? So you have to learn how they react. You have to learn what's important to them. And then that always taught me like that's why I don't know if you noticed, like I like to build relationships and shit. No, like I'm never like a one-time deal kind of guy. No, I like to like get to know you and know your family and know everything, you know, because that's important to me, you know, and then that's how you know a character, like what's important to them, and then that's how you know like how to talk to them and shit, basically, and shit, you know, in business, pues, you know.
No, that makes sense. You know, another book that I had read too was The Power of Now, and that was actually pretty good. Like that one, I would read it every time I take my son to like practice. I'll just sit in the car and read the book. You know, it's like more. I guess I started getting more interested in like books that like could open up your mind, like you know, and wisdom, you know, like get wiser, or you know, because sometimes, you know, things could get us out of character, things could lead us to something else by not having like a disciplined mind, you know. So I started getting more into that so that I could like it was just interesting to me, you know, like maybe it might open up my mind to try new things, or just how to control myself, you know, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, and it's dope. And I think learning to control your anger or your frustration is good too, right? Because
and temptation.
And your temptation too, because those things make you make bad decisions and shit off the bat, you know. Sure. Definitely, yeah. But now, so getting back to your music. So now that you know you're trying to rap, you're invited to the studio. You kind of hate recording. Like, so what's your next move now, dude? Like, how do you continue getting into music here and shit?
I actually, since I had connected with my cousin Veneno,
somebody was just saying, ask Rodo if it's Veneno the one that would rap with Conejo and shit.
No, because he was no. I mean, if they're talking about Conejo, like the rapper,
I think so. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not him. It was he was a Spanish rapper from Oxnard. You know, he was a local.
Yeah.
And I just kind of let him kind of take the lead. Well, I mean, he was bringing me along under
Yeah,
his
yeah,
wing,
yeah.
so
So you were just learning and
kind of
shit.
following suit.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
for sure.
hey, I need you to be here. He was very good at doing business, man. Like he would go sit down with all the owners when he would do shows and like present to them like, look, this is what I have to offer, and he would kind of build like a relationship
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah.
and kind of build the business. Like, let us keep the door and you guys keep the bar, and so he was very good at that. Making good business
Mm-hmm.
with all the local spots that we actually performed at.
Oh,
You
okay.
know,
Dope, dope. Yeah, no, this key, dude, for sure. So they probably set some of that platform up and shit that people, even to this day, when you rent a place, it's like we keep the bar, it's a bar minimum. You do the door and merch or whatever and shit.
No, yeah, because I
Yeah.
mean, damn, trust me, those places they make money off the bar.
Yeah, for sure,
You know what I
right?
mean? So,
Yeah, because people in there vibing and shit, they're definitely gonna want to drink a couple
oh,
brewskis and shit. I mean, me alone, when I was like drinking, easily go spend 100, $200, bro, at the bar,
hell yeah,
right? You get
yeah.
me? And that's not considering if you're not buying a bottle for the table, 2 bottles and shit, right? Then
Th-
you 500 in and shit.
That's why they say sometimes it's just better to buy the bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
So you're not going over there, but
Getting
that bottle,
$10 shots and
but
shit.
that
Yeah.
bottle will go fast,
Yeah.
especially if you got females with you.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
so so you're following lead and shit and all that with Veneno, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then like you're learning some skills here and shit. You're still young, no?
Yeah, I'm still like, yeah, man, I'm still learning the whole game, and then just trying to keep up with like what he's doing now, because now I'm like actually being involved,
Yeah, yeah.
and at one point, it's just I don't know. I honestly don't really know what happened. We just kind of like everything just kind of stopped, like between us, like
Yeah, yeah.
nothing bad,
Yeah, yeah.
But he just, I'm thinking maybe he ended up having his kids, and he had to deal with all that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I already had my kids, so I was able to find ways to make time for that, and so when everything kind of stopped, it just kind of put me like, damn, I'm kind of like out here, like I kind of felt like, damn, I'm out here by myself now.
Oh, all right.
But I had these connections through him, which was Mo Styles, shout out to him. He had a pretty dope studio setup, but he's a very good engineer.
Okay.
So,
And that's the key, huh? When you can do everything, dude, that's
Mhm.
like it saves you a lot of money. You can put more music out too.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Mo Styles, like with him, I actually got to learn. He had obviously he knew the engineering part of it, so he knew how to make my voice pop up, and I was like, oh damn, I actually like how it sounds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so then I started going with him and recording through him. With it was another he was an artist too. He's an engineer. The homie Dots, shout out to him. He opened up his doors too. All these people were because I met through Veneno. So once he kind of like went out the picture, like I had these connections, through him.
All right.
And even through Whisper,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
met Whisper through my cousin.
Yeah, he's
And-
been doing music for a while. También, no? Based on his
Yeah.
story and shit.
And shout out to my dog, so I just started kind of going. They kind of just opened up the doors to me, and they were like, hey, man, you can come here whenever, and so I kind of just continued the grind right there, the music. I was already like heavily involved, and I mean, I've always loved the music. Just it's like I always say, I do it with the passion, not for the fashion.
Yeah, yeah,
You
there
know what
you
I'm
go.
saying? Because
Yeah,
I get it. A lot of artists, they think it's easy to just, and maybe now it is, because you see it now. A lot of artists blow up
yeah,
real
yeah.
quick,
Yeah.
and I get it. They think that if like they're looking for the money. Obviously,
yeah,
they were
for
all
sure.
looking for a check.
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
so I get it. But
Yeah, at the end of the day, everybody does it to get paid, right? But
yeah,
you gotta love it too, no?
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And
So
that keeps you going because not everybody can blow up.
yeah,
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I say sometimes, if you're independent, it's gonna take you spending way more money than you're actually gonna get back
Yeah,
in the
for sure.
music.
Yeah.
So I mean, hopefully you get a hit and that takes you places.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
how that goes. But
Yeah, and certain people now that I've noticed, and maybe I don't know if you encountered it, certain people don't fuck with you just because of the low following, maybe. right? Like, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
you in general, right? Like
No, yeah,
it
but
happens
it's
to us,
no,
right?
yeah,
Like,
it's reality, you know.
yeah,
That's why there's a strategy, you know. That's why people
hmm,
buy fake followers,
yeah,
buy fake views because,
yeah,
like, say like a CEO or something, or even a big artist might see that, and they're not even gonna look at your music first. They're just gonna
hmm,
like, oh man, he has this many followers,
hmm,
he has this many streams. Oh damn, let's connect with him. But those are all fake,
yeah, yeah.
you know. So you could trick the industry,
Yeah,
kind of, you know.
but that it comes to show, and then you have to do a concert, and then nobody shows up.
I mean,
You get
yeah,
me,
yeah,
right? Or like when you drop a video, you have like, I'm just saying, let's say, um, to me it's different ways, right? Like
mhm,
to me, sometimes you see the followers, but
yeah,
they're like, let's say they have 10,000 followers, but you're getting like 30 views on a video and shit, right? That
yeah,
doesn't make sense, right?
yeah,
Or vice versa, the other way, where you have like 200 followers, but you have some videos that have 100K views and shit. To me,
yeah,
that doesn't make sense and shit. You
yeah.
know?
And that's when you
Yeah,
really, once you dig deep and you really
yeah,
start looking at an artist, then you could catch that.
yeah,
But yeah. So like I said, I've always done it. With a passion, not for the fashion.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, like
for
not trying
sure.
to look cool and
Yeah,
stuff like
you
that.
enjoy doing music and
No,
people
yeah.
fuck with it and shit, bro. You
And,
know?
yeah, bro, it's like to me, it's like working out. I'm exercising my mind. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember, like me and one of my good friends, man. His name's Eddie, but before he became a family man. He used to go by Logic. And I met him because he moved from Culver City to Oxnard, and I met him through one of my cousins, not Veneno, but another cousin, and he kind of introduced us like, oh, my cousin, he raps, and then he went and introduced like, hey man, I met him, he's cool, man, and he likes music,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
he freestyles a lot, he's the type of person that boom just start freestyling out of nowhere and
Oh,
won't
all
stop,
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but he's good at it,
Uh
he's
huh.
very like intellectual with his words and stuff that he would say vocabulary that I'm like, damn, what does that mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah.
but he was so good at it, but he became a family man, and obviously that's more important than anything. So,
Mm-hmm.
I never like try to pressure him to be like, oh, come with me.
Get the
And
studio and shit.
yeah, he would sometimes. He would come,
Mm-hmm.
but now that that he's a family man, because I know what he was doing, man. He was trying to get close to my family, and he was trying to become my family, which he did. He got with one of
Oh
my
yeah.
cousins,
Oh yeah, yeah,
I was like, this whole time, you were
yeah.
just trying to get in my
And then
family.
he stopped rapping and shit.
Yeah, because he would tell me, he's like, bro, your family is cool. Like,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
parties, he's like, man, you go to parties and you would have a good time, with the family. So I'm like, I know you were just trying to get into my family, bro.
That's what's up, man.
But
Yeah,
nah,
yeah.
man, they're doing good, man. Shout out to them.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
And yeah, so with him, me and him I would pick him up and we would smoke and drink in my car for like 2 hours, bro. And
Yeah,
we'd just
yeah.
be freestyling for those 2 hours.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I always used to call it. I'm like, it's we're lyrically exercising,
Mm-hmm.
our brain, or the way we like thinking fast. Like I said, if you're getting roasted, like you gotta think quick,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. So that to me was like, it was dope. I used to, man, those times were good,
Yeah, you
man.
enjoy that. And then at what point did you meet Gangsta Wish? Is this kind of like on the path as to when you met Wish and
Yeah,
shit?
yeah. Going back to Mo Styles. I remember one time, Pugs, Oxnard Pugs, man. Shout out to the homie.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like I remember one time he hit me up out of nowhere and was like, "Hey, bro, I'm trying to get a studio. Like, do you know anybody that can get a studio right now?" And I was like, "You know what? As a matter of fact, I do." And I hit up Mo Styles, and then he's like, "Yeah, bro, have them come over." So they went, and I wasn't even planning on going, but Pugs was like, "Hey, bro, you should pull up."
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool, man, I'll pull up, see what's up. I didn't know that he was with Gangsta Wish, and I I kind of heard of him a little bit, but I haven't really had heard his music
Oh, okay.
because I would see like the covers, like with him and Young Dope. It was an old school cover that they're both like in front of a Lolo,
Oh, all right.
and I think like Wish is facing one way. I don't know, but it's Dopey and Wish in front of a Lolo, and it's like an old school cover. So I was like, I always kind of like saw him, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know he was gonna be with them, and that day I pulled up, and we introduced each other, and then we actually recorded a song that day. All three of us, me, Pugs, and Wish, and it was called No Going Back.
All right.
And ever since then, man, we ain't never gone back. Like it's always been solid with Pugs, with Wish. Like those are like
Like you start doing some music with them and shit, then
and
So you
and
made Wish first or Dopey first or
no, I met Wish first.
through Pugs and shit?
Yeah, through Pugs, you
All
know.
right,
And
yeah,
ever
yeah.
since then, man, it just became like a little bit more than even just music. You know, it's like I call him my brother. You know, because honestly, like we were, in each other just like families. You know, like he would invite me over, he would come over, stuff like that. And I don't really bring people over to my house like that, unless I'm
Yeah.
really like
Close
good,
to them
yeah,
and
close
shit.
to them. So, and like yeah, I call him my brother, because I
Mhm.
would. Worst case scenario, if something would happen, like I've always kind of been like, Shh, I'm right here, dog. You know what I mean? Like something happens, hey, I'm right here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
don't
yeah.
trip. Like, and I know he doesn't need that, but still it was just became that. Like,
Oh, that's dope, dude. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's my dog right there.
Oh, no, that's dope. And then the first song I heard from you,
Mm.
that I ever heard music from you was The Best Side.
Okay, yeah, that's the one with
Yeah.
Wish and Dopey.
And
Huh?
Dopey,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's a dope ass song, you know?
Yeah, you know what? That's crazy because that one, I think it's that one. The beat that he used for that album, it's not the one that we originally did it to.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the
Oh, shit.
original one, like that beat is hard too, but that first beat was hard.
Oh,
It
really?
was hard,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I still have it on the email. I bump that sometimes.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he didn't use it. Something about, I don't know, maybe the producer, or maybe it wasn't like, how you have to buy it.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know.
Sometimes that
Maybe
happens a
something.
lot. I notice, like, where, like, you work on the song, and sometimes music takes a while to finish, no? And then when
Yeah.
you're ready to mix and master it, it's like, oh, this one is we sold it already, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
oh,
That's
we only offer leases for this one now, or whatever, no?
yeah.
So then you have to like remake it or something with the same tempo or something, no?
Yeah, I mean that the other one that he put on his album it's a whole different beat, But like I said, man, that the original one, I'll show it to you after.
Yeah, yeah.
The original one, that's hard.
Oh,
It's
really?
hard, yeah, it's hard. Like
Yeah,
that
yeah,
beat
yeah.
is just, it's hard.
Oh, let's do it right now. Play it right now and shit.
Let me see if I can find it.
I want to hear it now and shit, dude. Everybody on the chat probably want to hear it too, no?
Well, I mean, damn, I don't know.
I like that song myself.
Because I don't know if Dopey would be cool to even because I know that's his song.
But it dropped already, no? It's just a different beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, but now that's one of the best songs that I like and shit too, dude. You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like after that's when I started looking at all the music people were doing and shit. You know?
That beat was just watching
Oh,
the
yeah,
drives.
yeah.
And then Wish on the hook.
Yeah.
Yeah, all day, baby. Yeah, at first they said that I wouldn't make it. Always turned up as a teenager with my tattoos, chucks, and my fat laces. Every
It's
week,
just way more aggressive.
Yeah,
you know?
it is.
I don't know, mama, it was very hard growing up. The ghetto streets made me a fucking soldier in a Range Rover, swerving on the block. Drunk as fuck.
Yeah, I like that beat too, dude. Yeah. You're
Man.
right. It's different sound too. You know?
Man, look at. Oh, yeah, look at-
And it's slower tempo actually than the one now, no?
and then with Wish on it.
Yeah.
So it just sounds more aggressive.
Yeah.
You know?
The beat is slower though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the original one.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's what's
I
up,
like
dude.
everything original, baby.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's cool. You still have it too, huh? Because that's like you recorded it and you have that like that memory of how that was played out, you know? And
Yeah,
then-
well, I have it because of the engineer, Like
Yeah,
all
yeah.
my emails are still there.
Yeah.
So I could
No,
always go back
that's
to
dope.
it.
I think and shit, dude. You know. So then now you're working with Gangsta Wish in the studio too and shit. Dopey. And how is that, bro? Cause like Dopey always had like a big following and shit too,
Yeah.
no? Like he was already like up there in artists and shit, no?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure that the only reason why, for the most part, he even decided to like fuck with me is because he knew that I was with Wish. He was out here, and
Yeah,
we were
cause Wish
pretty
was
much-
already living in Oxnard at this point and shit.
Yeah, so I'm sure that he was like, oh damn, okay, like who's this cat? He's always waiting on
Yeah.
him and stuff like that. And I kind of forgot how we actually ended up like interacting. But I think I had got a beat from one of my homies, Murder Classic. He does corridos now and stuff, you know. And but he was really good at producing beats, you know. And he made that beat California. You know, I don't know if you heard it or
Yeah, I heard
you know,
that.
but
Yeah.
but he made that beat and I was like, damn, bro, like that beat is hard. And I remember I was like, man, I showed it to Dopey. I was like, hey man, like I don't think I could hear anybody on this. Like
Yeah.
so, you know, and he's like, yeah, bro, like you know, let's do it up. And that's where he invited me over to record at Siphons, you know, for the first time. That's me and him met, Dopey. And it was like when Siphon was still living like it was like by the freeway. Like I don't know, I forgot where it was. I don't know
Oh
if it was in East
That's
LA
by
or
Staples Center and shit.
because it was a house.
Oh,
Like
okay.
we're recording in the closet.
Oh shit! Nah, I never been to that spot.
But his
yeah.
his producing or engineering was already there, you know. Yeah, I remember I showed up and I was like, man, it looks all sketchy over here, you know. Like you know, whatever. But you know, we did it up and yeah, man, that was the first song that we did. We actually did that song, and then we did Hot Burner.
I haven't heard that one.
That one was with Bobby Shmurda beat.
Oh, all right.
What's that song called? I think I forgot what that song's called, but it was like his biggest hit.
Oh, okay.
You know, and we did it.
I've only heard a couple of songs from Bobby Shmurda and stuff. That fool was dope. Did you see the? Have you ever seen the video when he performed for the execs? Like for he can get a sign, like
Oh, I think he's jumping all over the
he
tables.
jumped on the
huh?
table and
Yeah.
he's drinking and like doing gats and shit, like you know.
And you know what though? Like when I see him, like the energy is dope, right?
It is, yeah.
And it
yeah.
reminds me just the homie Bug, you know. Shout out to Bug, man.
Yeah,
Like,
for
that's
real.
my dog too. You know, he has that energy, bro. Like that is just like crazy, but it's dope, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's dope to have somebody like that around you, you know.
No, that's for real. And then so damn, so now you're working, you're making more music now as well too, right?
Yeah.
And you're getting more serious with it and shit now at this point.
Well, yeah, because now money's getting invested, you know,
Right.
spending studio time and buying beats, you know, because, you know, the whole YouTube thing kind of got a little bit old, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, then we're just stealing beats from YouTube and you can't really, if you're trying to invest, it's like, how you trying to invest and then you're getting YouTube beats that are not being paid for.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you can't even use them.
You can't even use them, right?
Like, yeah, if you're trying to sell your music, right?
Yeah.
So,
And then what are like to people that are like starting, dude, like trying to do music right now, like what are some of the challenges, dude, that you came across?
damn, I mean, I think it's one of the ones that everybody faces, which is, you know, like the money.
Yeah.
Having the money to pay for studio time, having the money to, you know, pay for the engineer to mix your stuff, for the beats. Like, it's all money, bro. That's being invested, you know. So that's pretty much a big challenge, you know. Like, if I could just go on YouTube and just jack all those beats, like, and make money off of it, I think everybody would be straight, you know. But it's just also it's not fair, you know what I mean, to the producer working hard on his.
Nah,
craft,
for real,
you know,
right? Yeah.
So
Some producers are hard to work with though and shit too, dude. You know?
yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't really came across something like that because, like, a lot of the beats, if I do get them from YouTube or if I have gotten them from there, like, I do reach out and I'll lease it or, you know, at least make sure that I'm clear to use it. You know, because you don't want to get that beat and then somebody else has it.
Yeah, right?
You know, that's like the thing where it's like, oh, damn. And I kind of saw that a lot, like, in my starting days. A lot of people were going to a certain producer, like on YouTube or something, and you would hear a few artists have the same beat.
Oh,
you
man,
know?
yeah. Yeah, that kind of sucks and shit. Because
Yeah.
it kills the originality of your music, I think.
Yeah.
But also, like, now it's a competition, like, who did it better and shit.
Yeah, exactly,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So the money for sure, bro. I think it is a big factor in anything that you do when you want to start a business, no? Because that's
Yeah.
essentially what you're doing with music, no? You're like starting your own business and shit, you know?
Yeah.
And you're investing in yourself. And the thing with that, like, from what I've seen is if you don't know how to use it, like go into the studio and be efficient and all that stuff, like you're really wasting a lot of money too and shit,
Yeah.
no? Like you got to go in there with a game plan and shit, no?
Yeah, that's why I would never really like to go to studios without having anything written already.
You were like
Like,
ready and shit, yeah.
Even though I am the type of person that could sit there and I could probably write something, like, I'll try to do it as quick, you know, because I've always had that mindset where It's like, I think I remember one time somebody asked me, like, they showed me a beat and they said, "Can you jump on it?" And I said, "Yeah, but I'll take it home and I'll come back." And they're like, "Nah, let's do it right now."
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know? And I was like, well, all right. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah,
then they
yeah,
were just
yeah.
like, "Hey, what if Dre was sitting right here and they asked you, 'Hey, write me a 16 right now?'
Yeah, yeah,
Are you
yeah.
gonna tell me you'll be back?"
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, all right, then hold up.
I would have been like, "Well, you ain't Drake to start, bro, but you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
nah,
Bring Dre first, you know?
but
Nah.
nah, but that I think that's a good way to be sometimes because from what I seen too, it goes both ways. No, there's certain projects that you want to spend your time in, no, and
Yeah.
there's certain opportunities that you got to be like, fuck it, like you know, and do your best and shoot, no,
Yeah,
you
nah,
know,
for sure, man. And like I said, man, I don't, shit, I know some people might mess with this, some people might not, whatever. But, um, just another thing too that I always had in mind that my cousin Veneno told me. He was like, "Hey, dog, anytime you go to anybody's studio and you drop something, make sure that when you leave that studio, you leave like, what do you call that? Like you're satisfied and you like drop something good, not just do some half-ass shit,
yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
know."
because that's your name, and then it's hard to shit don't get deleted now, no, like it's out there
Yeah.
forever and shit, you know.
Yeah, like I said, man, I'm not like the best, but like I said, when I do go to places, like I do put all my effort if I'm working with somebody, I'm not just gonna do something and then half-ass it for them.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
always
yeah.
like I want them to be like, okay, cool, like the effort was there,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so
No, I think that's dope, dude. And now you're working on new music now too again, right? Because I
yeah.
feel like sometimes you take little breaks and shit, no?
Yeah, and honestly, like last year, like it might have seemed like I might took a break, but we were actually recording. A lot of
Uh
the
huh.
stuff that we're dropping right now is all the stuff that we
From
were
that
like
you were,
that
oh
we were
yeah, yeah,
recording.
yeah.
And it's like the homie said, like why keep it, and stuff like that. But it was just things that had to be done. Like maybe the final mix and
Mhm.
getting the feature or something, right? Like we're waiting for something. So now that it was all clear, now that we sat down and we're like had a game plan, we're like, all right, let's start dropping every month. Let's start doing this.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, man. And but we are still doing new music as we're going.
Oh, okay, yeah,
That
yeah.
that way we keep on
With
like
Whisper on the track,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
That way we keep
The momentum and shit.
yeah, yeah, we keep it going. And I even, and even for ourselves, I told him like, yeah, as we drop music together, also drop something by yourself.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
drop some of my stuff too that I'm working on my own. And let's start networking a little bit. Like I think, this year the features that we have it's pretty cool, man. Like we've been networking like more than we have before.
Oh, that's dope, dude. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so we got like I know he mentioned because this is a song we're about to drop soon with the homie OG David James. Shout out to him, man. He's a really dope artist.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
if you haven't checked him out, check him out.
Mhm.
He's like really diverse with his music, and he's dope.
Oh, dope,
Like
dope.
his videos are dope, like creative. Like man, that's a real artist right there.
Oh, really? Yeah, I haven't
And
heard of him, but I'll
and,
look him up and
and
shit.
he motivates like when me and we're in the studio, he like motivates me to like just be that better. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Or
dope.
to do better.
Yeah, yeah.
And we have a feature with him. Um, um, hopefully, it looks like it's in the works. I just sent the email, and it looks like she liked it. So hopefully she gets on it. But I'm looking forward to work with um, this artist. Her name is I think she goes by Blasey.
Uh huh.
She's from Oxnard. And she like raps in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
Some English, but for the most part in Spanish.
Oh, that's dope.
Shout out to her, man. She's dope. Check
I
her
think
out
I
too.
think I've seen a TikTok of her and shit. Dude.
Destructive Films, has a few videos of her out
Oh,
there.
okay.
So yeah, she's dope, man. So I'm trying to see if we can work with her.
Yeah, yeah.
And it looks like everything's going. So
Oh, that's dope,
we're
dude.
looking forward to
So you
that.
got a couple collabs going on and shit, yeah?
Yeah, man. We just got the other one too, man. Like DJ Khaled said, the vocals are in.
Yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah.
tapped in with the homie King Lil G, and you're gonna hear something pretty soon
Oh,
too.
that's dope, dude.
Yeah, I'm trying to it was a conversation that me and Dopey were having not too long ago, and hopefully we're supposed to go record a song, and I told him, well, now that if we're gonna be there, I don't want to just kind of record one song and just that's it, right? I told him I'm gonna pull up with like maybe like 6 beats from that same producer from the song that we're gonna record, and Just try to knock out a EP real
Oh,
quick.
that'd be dope.
Cause
Yeah,
I've been,
yeah.
cause I've been wanting to drop a mixtape or a project that is titled Aux Angeles. And just have everybody that like I've been rocking with since the beginning. Which is like Dopey, Buck, Gangsta Wish. I know right now it might be a little hard to get him on there, but we'll see if we could try to make it work. And
That's a good idea and shit, dude. Actually,
yeah, and then I know he's opening up the people that he's working with, like at the 710 studios and stuff
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah.
So I told him, hey, bro, like Word is willing to jump on it. It's gonna be there, and it doesn't have to be like all of us on one song. Like it could be like me and somebody on a song, or even just somebody alone in the song. But it's like a collaboration, you know.
Yeah.
And just title
Yeah,
it
that's
Los
dope.
Angeles,
Yeah.
and hopefully that gets done. But
But you're gonna have a jam with King Little G and shit, right?
I'm trying to put that on that one.
Oh, on
I'm
that
trying
one?
to put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
on that EP, and so hopefully all that gets put together,
Yeah, no, that's dope, dude. The good thing is that you have some plans and you're trying to execute them and shit,
Yeah.
dude, you know. And then so like you got a lot of new music that's gonna be dropping soon,
Oh
right?
yeah. And just before I forget, the producer that will be doing that EP, if it gets done, will be a dope producer, man, from Oxnard. He's like from the east side section of Oxnard. He's dope, man. He goes by Mass Productions, shout out to him.
Oh, dope. He makes some dope ass beats
Yeah,
and shit.
he makes like that G-Funk West Coast music, and he's dope, man. Check him out too.
Oh, that's
Goes by
what's
Mass
up.
Production.
That's just dope. I haven't heard of him either and shit, dude, because there's so many people nowadays, right? Like,
Yeah.
whether it comes to music or artists, I'm seeing a lot more videographers popping up too and shit,
Yeah.
dude, you know?
Well, I don't know if you remember that song that I showed you, the one that has like the Tupac in the hook.
Yeah,
with
yeah, yeah.
Eazy-E.
Uh-huh.
He's the one that made that beat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Deliver the bomb or
yeah,
something?
deliver the bomb.
Yeah, that's just
shit.
fire. That's a dope ass beat too.
Yeah, so I talked to him and I was like, hey, bro, like I want to do an EP, and I told him what I want to do. The plan that I'm trying to put together, and he was like, yeah, bro, let's do it up.
Like I enjoy having beats made, dude. Like, cause I always have like ideas and shit like that,
Yeah.
That's why it's dope that we have. I think something's wrong with the little TikTok thing right here, but I like yesterday we were here with Little Man, and I think we made like a dope ass beat. He still needs to fix it and shit, dude,
Yeah.
But just of like, damn, it'd be dope if the bass comes in right here and all that,
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to make some beats, and like I don't know, I wish I knew how to make them, dude. You get me?
Yeah.
Because I would be like, and that's probably something I'm gonna start to learn how
I
to
tried,
do,
bro. Like in my early days,
Mhm.
I tried, bro. But it's just like from making beats to engineering your own music. Like, I mean, I give it up to anybody that does it.
Yeah,
like that
for
could do
sure.
the whole thing, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
I give it up to them, man, because like I gave up in the first 5
Yeah,
minutes.
the
I
first
was
5
like,
minutes.
man, I don't got patience for this.
Yeah,
Like,
because it's a process and shit, dude.
I'm like, let me just pay one of my homies to do it.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
pay the camera guy and just rather get the homies paid, and
Yeah,
do what
for
they
sure.
do.
Yeah, because you can't focus on everything.
I mean,
That's
some
one
like
thing, you know?
some do, which is like I said, man, all power to them.
Yeah.
But I'm just not that, man.
Like I like Scarface, dude, and I always like that sound, the dun dun.
Oh yeah, like
right.
the,
It's iconic and shit.
Yeah.
So I always have B's melody. Like I always shoot him ideas. He's one of the producers I work with the most for like all the artists.
yeah.
and
No,
shit,
shout
dude,
out to him, man. We
Yeah.
actually make some good music with some of his productions.
Yeah, that's dope. And then so I always send them the beat, like, hey, dude, I have this idea. Can you shoot this beat? And sometimes I'll just buy them and use them for our videos and shit. You
Yeah.
get me? This was one, I don't know if you heard it yet, but look. And I told them like, oh, you gotta put a part from the movie on there,
This world is my
What?
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one.
That's a dope ass part of the movie and shit,
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh damn, yeah.
Right?
I would yeah. I'm thinking like that would be a little harder for somebody
Yeah.
to mix like that, but damn, that actually sounds pretty hard.
Yeah, and then it's from a dope ass movie, I think, and I was thinking that song, like, again, I don't know like the rapping part either and shit, but to me was like, as a marketing, oh my bad, I got the volume up, but as a marketing, to me it makes sense to, like, if you're using that beat to call the song "The World Is Yours."
Oh yeah.
Right, and then on the cover art, you use something related to Scarface, like either the world, or the blimp with the words on it, like from the movie, and
Yeah.
try and play a ploy off of the. You get me? Like it's like not it's like playing on the iconicism of that movie and
Yeah,
shit.
you're basically
But
putting that
put it
movie into a song.
into a song and
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you
that's
make
dope.
a movie, a song about loyalty, or you make a song about trying to run the world, like if I ruled the world type shit or something. I don't know.
No, yeah, I mean that makes
Yeah.
total sense right there.
But that's how I want to get more involved in that aspect of it. Like oh, this would be like, let's try it this way, bro, and see if this works, kind of thing.
And that's good because that's almost like being a what do you call it, like a A&R or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, like those people that are like in the studios, like directing
Yeah,
like
like
an
use
artist.
this word instead of this word, or
yeah,
like something and shit.
do your hook like this and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes artists have egos and they probably like, man, why you telling me how to do it?
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And I'm always kind of open to stuff like that. Like I know, like I said, like the homie OG David James was trying to make me kind of like sing in a way, like, and I was just like, I was trying. He's like, nah, bro, you gotta do it like this.
He's like,
and,
that ain't singing.
yeah, like, yeah, bro, I don't know, I can't do it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and I know too, like my homie, another producer, his name is Lalo. He's from the Hits House.
Oh yeah.
You remember him?
I know him and shit.
Shout out to him
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's the same way, man. Like when you're in the studio, he'll kind of try to guide you, or he'll just give you suggestions, and sometimes a lot of artists are not open for that. They're not
for sure.
open to that. So
And I think a lot of it also is because when you're the talent, you just want to do it your way, no? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, right? Like it's
Yeah.
just like, let me try it my way because I want my music to have my flavor and shit, no?
yeah,
Like to me, I always thought like you would be great for doing love songs and shit.
yeah,
Like for like women, like for women and shit, dude. And I don't know if it's because of your voice or not,
I mean, we definitely got some of those out there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, for sure.
We definitely have them out there. I mean, damn, who doesn't love a male? I mean, if you're a male, who doesn't love women?
I mean,
like,
look at how big Key Sweat is been, or like people like that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, MB writers and shit, right? There was a while where they were on the radio all day and shit, dude.
Yeah, bro. So
Right.
it's like,
There's a market for it, and there hasn't been rappers like that with that classic feel to it recently in my that I've heard of and shit.
and
dude,
it's always good, bro. Like as a man to cater to like the women, because it's like, you hear so much crash out music, and it's like, at the end of the day, like, they're still interested in women. They want to go home to their wives or whatever, and. It's always good, man, to just kind of cater to the women, a little bit.
And I'll tell you my perspective on that, dude. To me, I look at it as a market share, right? And I'm saying this is how I always look at everything, like a dollar for dollar type shit, no? Crash out music is a niche market, right? Gangster music, and it's dope, right? Like I bump, that's all I bump in my car, bro,
for sure.
right?
Like I bump a lot
But
of
when
it.
you think of the love market, right, it's like all this encompassing thing of different races, right? Like everybody gets their heart broken, everybody falls in love. Like those are things in life that everybody goes through, but not everybody's a gangster and shit. You get me? So when you look at market shares, you're kind of like, oh shit, well, it makes more sense to make party songs and love songs, right? Because it's a bigger market. That's how I kind of think about it and shit.
No,
you get me?
for sure. And then that's what, like I said, like you have a lot of people, like men out here, if they're involved in a certain lifestyle, they're thugging it right, but then at the end of the day, when they go home, like, they might be like flirting with a certain female, but like, so it's cool to cater to a woman. It doesn't have to mean that you're in love, but it's like, I love to flirt with women, like, hey, man,
sometimes you want to
doing?
be
Like,
in the backseat of a car and just put a nice little song and shit instead of like bitches ain't shit, but hoes and you know what I mean? Like,
and just just to kind of cater to them, be like, hey man, you looking good today, like,
nah, for sure.
and just that.
Every woman wants to feel special for sure, dude. Just like men too. Men just don't. How do you say portray that? I guess or the shit, no?
Oh no,
You know what I mean, right? Like men always try and act like, oh yeah, I don't care and shit. But when a girl acts sweet with you and shit, it's like, oh shit, like, isn't it? I mean, I'm not Like, I mean, I've been married, so I know when my girl has sweet with me, I'd be like, oh shit, my whole guard comes down and shit, bro. You
And
get
I
me?
think it's because a lot of men don't receive it as much.
Yeah, yeah.
I think women receive it so much
Yeah.
that it's like for a man, it's like, damn, okay, like, oh damn, she's
Yeah,
actually
for real, huh?
doing this for me. Like, oh hell yeah, I like this.
It just sucks for women, and again, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
That 90% of it is fake though, because everybody's just trying to hit it and shit. You get me?
Oh yeah.
You gotta fight that 10% or something
Yeah.
that's the genuine one and shit, bro. You get me?
No, yeah.
At least
sure.
for men. I mean, well, maybe the times have changed, girl. There's a lot of girls that are players now too and shit, bro. You know, so I guess it's not like back then, no. You know,
Yeah,
but
no,
I don't
yeah.
know. That's my personal opinion and shit, dude. But let's go right here to the chat, dude, and give some shout outs to like, hey, SR West Best, thanks for tapping in. Bobby 110, appreciate that. He said the Rhodium memories. Hey, bro, we spent a lot of time at the Rhodium swap meet and shit. It's like the
okay.
popular one right here. It
Is it
used to
still
be a
open or
drive-in
no?
and shit, you know?
It's not open anymore.
Yeah, it's still open right here. It's on Redondo Beach Boulevard, like I think on Sundays and shit, you know?
Mm.
I haven't been for a minute, but I used to go there for hats. I used to go there like for like there was music, for video games. I mean, we didn't really go to the mall as
Yeah.
kids, you know? It was like, oh, we're gonna go to the Swami and get the solos and shit. Remember
Oh
the solo
yeah,
pins and
Solos,
shit?
Ben Davis.
Las calcetas, todo, you know, that was like now people go to the mall and you know and all that, but back then it
Yeah.
was like, oh, we're gonna go to swap meet and shit, you know.
And now they're more expensive than they were back then.
They
Now-
are, for
you know,
sure,
now
dude.
because everybody's trying to get into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
style.
SI West Best said my sister owned a bar in Oxnard. Didn't understand why she got it so far, but going over there, it's nice and the beaches also and shit, you know.
Hell yeah.
Voice of the Barrio Radio. That's what's up, man. Thanks for tapping in, man.
Oh yeah, shout out to everybody tapping in.
He said, I think every family that Raza has had 15 members in one home at one time. We
Oh,
creating
yeah.
big families. And I don't mean to clown, but I always pictured it like a clown car, except from my house. No, like when somebody's gonna roll out, and then it's like 15 people come out of the house and shit. Dude, it's like a 2-bedroom and shit, you know? Hey, dude, but hey, that's the struggle is real, bro, for sure, man.
No,
you
it
know?
definitely is, man.
But you know, I'll tell you guys one thing too, dude. Like me, I grew up with like a big family and shit, you know? And all the kids, we used to play together and all that stuff, no? My kids, we grow up apart, like from a lot of my family, because everybody moved to the AZ and shit. That my kids don't get that, you know? So when
Okay,
they see their cousin, they're almost like meeting for the first time each time, bro, you know?
Yeah.
But like me and my cousins, we had a relationship like, I mean, most of them hated me or I hated them or most of them we vibe and shit, dude, you get me?
Yeah.
But it was like set because I knew them and shit, you get me?
No, yeah, I feel
Yeah,
you, man.
yeah.
That's exactly how it is with my kids right now. Like, you know, I take them sometimes to their mom's house and they don't really vibe with their cousins a lot, you know, and it's like as much as you would want them to do it, like sometimes it's just not there because they don't see each other all the time.
Yeah.
Like when I was young, man, I used to be all the time with my cousins.
Yeah.
Like it used to be like 8 of us.
You was family and shit,
Yeah,
right?
you know, it used to be 8 of us. It was either on my dad's side of the family or my mom's side of the family.
For
you know?
real.
But it was always like we grew up like that. We were always around each other.
Yeah, it's different, right? You know?
Yeah, hell yeah. It was dope.
And Demon Nuevero, hey, thanks for tapping in, bro. He says, saludos, West Factory, Rodo G. Keep dropping that, my fire, my boy.
Hell yeah, much love to him.
Yeah. Thanks for showing support. Oh, shit, boss lady in the house from Utah, what up? We about to go see Speedy Inc. on Wednesday. We're going to be doing a live interview with Speedy Inc. on Wednesday, man. Make sure you tap in on April 1st for sure. Cholo from Atlanta. Moreno fucking won. Let's go. I don't know who Moreno is, though, and shit. Is that the fight? Is there a fight today? Oh, I think there's a fight today, huh?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Bobby 110. It's been done before. Which one? Scarface? Was he talking about my Scarface? It has been done, but not like this, though. You know?
I'm sure people have used that.
Yeah, it's
you know,
iconic and shit, you know? Cholo from Atlanta. What up, West Factory? Cuando se puede? Salute. That's what's up, man. Thanks for tapping in, bro, you know? He said, hell yeah, that's all us vatos want a good, loyal woman that can cook, too. Hey, you know what's funny, though? Yesterday, and then I hope it wasn't, because my wife watches and shit, dude, you know?
Yeah.
And I told her, when I showed up, she was a little disappointed and I hate putting my life out there. Well,
She
I don't
like-
hate
she
it.
like, why you
I
putting
know
me on
she hated
blast,
it. And I was talking about that she don't cook and all that.
I
you know?
was just seeing that on my way over
Yeah.
here.
You know, it's trippy. When I got home yesterday, bro, and I got home a little late because I still had to print some shirts and all that, you know?
You ain't had no food.
Nah, dude, I showed up. There was a bowl of spaghetti and meatballs with sourdough bread.
Oh,
and she waited up. It was warm as fuck.
So she tried to show you out.
I
She's
was
like,
like-
oh, you
I
said
was
I
like-
can't cook?
And that shit was fire as fuck. I ate. It was a whole big ass bowl, and I don't really like to eat so late.
Yeah.
But I ate it all, bro, and it was so good. And I was like, you know what? I swear, today I'm gonna tell everybody like I take that shit back. My wife can cook, and that shit was fire last night and shit. You know?
Yeah, I was hearing that what you said about the tapatio chicken
Oh
or something
yeah,
like
that
that. I
shit's
was
fire,
like,
bro. You know. Nah, but
That's
hey,
crazy.
shout out to my girl, man. She, she had a good ass plate yesterday. That shit was fire and shit. I don't know if it was a coincidence or she saw this episode and was like, "I'm gonna show that fool what time it is." and
hell
shit,
yeah.
you know?
She
But
like,
nah, that shit was fire, dude. You
she
know,
showed you out.
she did, dude. But nah, we all do want a loyal woman. I think that's really important, as well as women to have a loyal man and shit. You know, and
Man.
that's for sure.
Hey,
man,
man,
you know?
if you want a loyal woman, man, like, if anyone wants to come in my life, you can't have Instagram. You can't have social media.
Oh, that's
Like,
you
yeah, I don't
think
care.
so?
I don't care what they say out there. Like, it's not about being insecure. You know what insecure is? You allowing that type of stuff to happen and not checking it.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Because you're afraid to lose your girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, so
I think personally it depends.
yeah.
Right?
No, yeah, for sure. It does
you
depend.
get me? Like I think
You want to keep in touch with your cousins? You got their numbers?
do it the old school way. Send them an email and shit. Nah, but I think a lot of people run businesses now.
Oh no, yeah, for
You
sure.
get me? So some
Yeah.
people are like, my sister does cakes and shit, bro. So you gotta have an Instagram and TikTok and
But you
promote
don't,
that
don't have
shit.
to put your face on there.
I feel you. You don't gotta take the little pictures with them. You
Hey,
know?
watch it. Watch it. Gonna be like,
They're gonna-
he insecure. He
They're gonna give a
insecure.
shit, bro. You know? Nah, but I do feel you to some extent on that. I do believe in the
I'm just-
liberties too,
yeah.
though. You get me?
I'm just playing.
Because to be honest, and this is my personal opinion again, I always say that because I don't want to offend people, bro. You know, that if you have to like watch out for that kind of stuff, then that's not the girl for you and shit. Though.
Yeah,
You get me?
yeah, for sure.
Right?
yeah.
Like if you're gonna be going to work and stressing, like, oh, what my girl doing on IG? Like, fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you get me? Because
yeah.
that shit's gonna it'll bring you down so quick
yeah.
that it's just terrible and shit, dude. You get me?
And I think all that just falls under everything, you know. It's like with homies, with women.
yeah.
It's like, you know, if you got solid people around you, then they're not gonna do anything to disturb your peace.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And if they do, then yeah.
And they're not gonna hate, right? It's like if it's a
Yeah.
money move, they're gonna be like, "Hey, you want to get in on this or not?" You
Yeah.
get me? But it's not gonna be like outshining or whatever and shit. But nah, definitely, you're right. It goes both ways. And you know what's trippy? Like in the streets, I've seen like dirty stuff, bro. Right?
Yeah,
you get me?
For sure, yeah.
You probably have too, right? Anybody that goes
yeah.
in the ghetto has seen heartaches, betrayals, and shit like that, right?
To the
But you
max.
know, when I went to the business world and I worked at these companies, I saw the same exact shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
Just behind people's back.
Oh,
type of
yeah,
shit,
for
you
sure.
get me?
Yeah, they're more
like people
dirty,
trying to
like-
get people fired, harassment suits, fucking people getting yelled at. Like I've seen, and I was just like, damn, this business world is just like the streets. But in my head, I was like, but they pay checks right here and
That's
shit,
what
bro.
I was
You
about
get
to
me?
say. I'm like, but the thing is that right there, they're actually trying to throw
Yeah.
you off to get that
Yeah,
check,
to get
bro.
that check, bro. You
Yeah.
get me? So I'm just like, man. So I that's one of the things. So it's the same in both worlds from what I've seen. So I've always learned to just stay true to myself and what I believe in, and the rest will just fall in place, bro. You get me?
Man,
You know?
hell yeah, you couldn't have said that better.
Right? Like, you know, like sometimes you miss your opportunity and fuck it, but just work for the next one, bro. Don't hate on this cat because he took it or like whatever it is. You get me? Like just
Yeah.
stay in your lane, work hard, and then that shit will pay off, bro. You know?
No, yeah, bro, and that's kind of what I apply to myself, and especially like in the music, because like you said, you know, sometimes like a lot of us don't have like a big following,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that, you know. But at the same time, I gotta stay true to myself, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because I come around my people, I come around my cousins, my childhood friends, and if I was to be on some like fake stuff, they
Yeah,
would
yeah.
really call me out, like, "Hey, bro, come on now."
Yeah, like
you
stop the
know,
cap and shit,
Yeah,
bro.
so it's hard for. I mean, I don't know how some people do it, you know, but you know, some people end up just kind of faking the funk. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And
I used to hear that
It
a
is what
lot.
it
Fake
is.
it till you make it and shit. And
Yeah.
everybody like, That's not how I like to roll. And shit. My voice even cracked when I said that. And shit. Nah, Esa West Best said, us female want a loyal man that's also knows how to work. Hey, don't start no violence in the chat though and shit. Nah, I found mine after 6 years. It ain't easy, that's for sure, man. I'm pretty sure you had to, like go through some life experiences to get to that one person, And once you find them, one thing that I learned in life, dude, I've been together for a long time, and we still have our challenges, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Compromise is a plus, like a man though, bro.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you like this shit, and you just gotta be like, I'm gonna put it to the side because it's not the best for this shit. You get me?
Yeah.
Right? You get me? And same for the women, right? Sometimes they like certain shit, and they gotta be like, you know what? I'm gonna put that to the side because it ain't vibing with what I got here and shit. That's when you have to pick, like what's more important in life. Like, do I want to go out and party all night, or do I want to be here with my fams and shit? You get me? I don't know.
No, yeah, no, that's a real right there.
But shout out to you, SOS Best, for finding yours, man. But nah, I think, and then the other thing, we like to grind and elevate right here, bro, and to inspire people to do the same, grind and elevate themselves and shit, Like, what's something you would give to somebody to inspire them, bro? Like, from what you learned in your life in the music industry, like, what would you, so that people don't repeat the same mistakes or don't have to suffer the same struggle or the same failure, bro,
But are you talking about like the music?
Yeah, music,
like
dude. Things that you learn that you're like, man, here's a little footnote for you and shit,
Yeah, I mean, I think just going back to what you said earlier, just staying true to yourself, and everything else will fall in place, because I've seen, I didn't seen like and heard like sometimes people that are not true to themselves, and they get exposed, and not necessarily like on social media, but you might just get exposed coming into a room full of like some real people, right?
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
they expose you by maybe getting checked because of the type of stuff you're doing.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And that's because you're probably not staying true to yourself, or your people.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
I think for the most part, staying true to yourself goes a long way in the music. It's good to like change and grow, as you keep going, but always just kind of remain just true to what you believe in. You know what I mean? And not fall into the, oh, well, this is popular. Oh, well, this is this. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of get fooled in a way.
Yeah, and take you off your lane and shit in a way or something. All right.
I think that's...
No, that's dope right there for sure, dude. Good advice,
Yeah.
And life in general, too, and shit, dude.
That goes a long way.
So we had a couple other comments before we close it out, bro, is this a new podcast, and who are you fools? Question, right? No, you can check out all our other episodes. This is Philip. You can check out all the other episodes on our YouTube channel, bro, and, get to know us and shit like that. You can also tap into our clothing brand, the www.thewestfactoryshop.com. You can see what we do and shit, Appreciate you tapping in for sure. I think we are a new podcast, but we just been on grind mode, so I think we got I think there's like the 40th episode or something like that, just because we're trying to be consistent and shit. So, yeah, make sure you tap in, bro. I appreciate you showing up and dropping a comment right here. SOS Best said, once you find that one, you got to take care of your relationship for sure, 100. That's facts right there. But, yeah, just to close it out, shout out to our sponsors, Just Junk Pros. Make sure you tap in with them if you need anything removed. The Sweet Life Micheladas, man. We about to get restock on that, and we're gonna be having them at the shows we're gonna be at for sure. And they're fire, dude. I gotta make sure we get re-up because I do like a michelada. Now that I don't drink,
hey, bro, I was like, man, I was expecting one. I was expecting
you
one.
like them too and shit,
I
no?
love michelada.
Nah, but shout out to Sweet Life. Make sure you tap in with her. She does candy. She does events. All this dope shit, man. She's a good person too, man. Angie and shit, she's real down to earth and all that, And shout out to Val Seafood, man. She's gonna be open tomorrow. If you're in the South Bay or surrounding area, man, you can hit her up. She got these dope ass shrimp she be doing, ceviches, the miguelazo, all that good stuff. So make sure you tap in and get some of that.
I've been seeing the homie Migs like post some of that.
Yeah.
It looks fire, man.
It's fire, bro. I've had it. I've been trying to go. I'll probably show up tomorrow and get a plate. I know the first time he did, I showed up and I was like, give me one of everything and shit, bro. Just to show love and support. It was all fire, bro.
No, hell yeah.
And then he makes his own chips.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, so they're like fire, like fresh and all that stuff, dude. Yeah,
dope.
Nah, so definitely, I'm probably gonna pull up tomorrow and shit and give me a little plate, you know. Philip said I'll tap in for sure. I feel good vibes here. I appreciate that, bro, and thanks for tapping in. We keep it 100 right here. You could drop a comment. We give the shout outs. Salute to everybody. Good show, Rodo G, Smurf, the West Factory. Till next time, gracias. Appreciate y'all, man. Make sure y'all tap in and all love. Have a good night, everybody.
We out, baby.